next exercise, we're going to continue working on the 4-H landscape design project. For this, I'm going to use a pencil as well as a fine tip ink pen to go back over my pencil lines. So I'm going to start with the pencil. If you recall, the last two videos we worked on the functional diagram. And so again, I've defined kind of these areas, general areas for plantings, for sidewalks, for my pool, for my patio. I've laid a second sheet over the top. I can begin to see little bits of what's underneath, enough to guide me, but not enough to make the decisions. Here I'm making my decisions about geometry and about exact location. So we had the second video, which had the different types of geometry: rectilinear, rectilinear 45, irregular, arctangent, just to name a few. And so at this point in time, you need to have selected a geometry. So for this exercise, I'm going to use a rectilinear geometry. You can choose something different, but that's what I'm going to use for this exercise. That means that on this grid, I am going to be vertical or horizontal. All my lines will be vertical or horizontal on this grid. And just a reminder, this grid represents 5 feet by 5 feet. So one square is 5 feet by 5 feet. So we can kind of measure as we go along the grid. So if we look back at our front yard, we have the driveway, a walkway carrying us into the front yard as part of our functional diagram, a lot of lawn, some plantings on either side of the walkway, and then plantings on both sides of the driveway there. Since I've decided to use the rectilinear, I'm going to start at the driveway and begin to work my way towards the porch. And I'm also going to start at the porch and begin to work my way towards the driveway. And so again, I'm using rectilinear, so either horizontal or vertical lines. I'm just going to keep it simple. You walk down and turn and go in, kind of straight and then over. And then here, I'm going to actually, instead of just going straight and over, I'm going to add a little extra area for maybe a little seating area, a little gathering area there. You could maybe be tucked under a tree in this planting area. So this is going to be planting, walkway or sidewalk, and then lawn out here. I'm going to do another planting over here. I'm just going to bring this line, match that line up for a little planting area over here. And then if you recall, I'm going to flip back. I also wanted plantings on this side of the sidewalk coming in. I'm going to bring that line across, kind of match it, come around, and then come down along the house for another little planting area over here. Planting, lawn, sidewalk, planting. All right, and I'll go back and erase those letters in a little bit, but that kind of lets us know what we need there. So that pretty much gets the front yard. There's a lawn over there. In the backyard, as we look at the backyard, we have a small seating area out the master bedroom. We have a patio area, a bigger patio area off the dining room and off the great room. And then that spills out to a patio around the pool. And so these are just bubbles. I've decided to use a rectilinear form. So you may have a different form, but I'm going to convert those into rectilinear shapes. And so this one's a little more complicated. There's more elements back here. But I can see, I'm just going to start by kind of mimicking my bubbles that are inside here. And so maybe this is the patio in this area, the pool's in here somewhere. How about that? We'll do an L-shaped pool. It may take some time to kind of figure this out. It's okay if you mess up. Maybe you have to erase. You can go back and erase this pencil because we're not putting the pen down yet till we kind of get everything settled in. And so that would have my patio going around the pool. A bigger planting area on this side. Maybe we want a little wider patio here. So we can have a big patio area around the pool. And planting area here, we could put up a fence. Planting, patio, pool, patio, walk here. And if you remember, we have a lawn, a big lawn in this area here. So let's maybe make this the lawn. I came in a little bit here. Let me come in a little bit from there. This the lawn. We can go back with lawn towards the master bedroom. Kind of an L-shaped lawn. So we have L-shaped pool and L-shaped lawn here. And then we could make this the seating area outside the master bedroom that, if you recall, that was there. Seating area, lawn. We're just adding form and geometry to what's there. So this is lawn. This is the pool. This is the patio. This is planting. And let me put my fence back here for there. And that's a basic, simple design. This is planting here. So if we're on the patio, the seating area by the master bedroom is kind of hidden, a little bit private. That's probably a good thing. And so we can begin to work through that. So the next step, you know, I worked through this pretty quick. I've thought about it a while, so it may take you quite a while to work through this idea. But this gives us the basic shapes for all of these elements. Now that I have the basic shapes for the different landscape elements, I'm just going to ink those in a little bit. And so I'm going to add a little bit of detail as I go through here. So I'll just start in the front yard. I'm just going to take this fine tip Sharpie and I'm going to move along the line. It's okay if I have a little wiggle in my motion. In my pen work, we learned that before, that's okay. In one of the early lessons, the 8 different types of lines. So there's my sidewalk area. Remember what to do when you come to a corner. Do a little bit of overlap there. A little overlap in the corner. We have this and planting area here. All right, then what I'm going to try to do on this sidewalk, I have my main line work. I'm going to try to make the little cross line work very, very light and build a grid on that. And so, kind of, it's okay if it doesn't go all the way down. This is just the kind of the grid that occurs on the sidewalk. And I'm just kind of raising and lowering my pencil to add this little bit of detail there. There, I'll draw the porch in. It's a little hard to see in the drawing. And so there's my front yard, my planting area. I'm going to do the same thing with the pool in the back. Start on that. It's okay if I'm not exactly on top of these lines, just primarily tracing. I can go back and do some erasing if I need to. The other thing about the pool is we want to do an echo line. And so just as we did in those 8 different line types, we want to put another line right beside it. Maybe this one's a little thinner, and that represents kind of the banding or the coping that runs around the edge of the pool. There's some more, either some special tile work around the edge or some special concrete work that kind of defines the edge of the pool. And I'm just running these lines parallel. I'm probably going faster than you can go. Had just a little more practice than you, but take your time, do it well. So now I have a double line for the pool. And there's some pencil line work that's in there that if you need to get rid of, you can pull that back out just by coming back in. If you feel like that pencil line work underneath is messy, if you don't feel like it is, you can leave it. It's fine. So that'll be our swimming pool. I'm going to define the edge of the patio between the patio and the planting area. This is just a single line. Again, I'm moving pretty quick, but you can take your time and do nice and neat. I'm going to continue on to the lawn. And again, just tracing these lines pretty close. The rectilinear is super easy with this grid underneath to kind of move along these lines. And again, take your time, do a good job, keep it clean. This fence, a little detail on the fence. These are the posts. And I'm going to put the gate here. So that's how the gate opens. I'm going to come back and erase the pencil work here. So that reads a little better. A little bit of pencil work cleanup where I'm messy. All right, so my next step, I have most of the kind of boundary lines in, so my next step I'm going to do what I did with the front walkway. I'm going to do that across the patio, try to go really light. Just kind of touching occasionally, touching, lifting, pretty almost as light as I can go. And I'm just building that grid in all the way across. Your patio might be a different shape, but kind of that same idea. Well, I did that one a little heavier than I wanted to. It's okay. Nobody will ever know. So take your time. Kind of just barely touch the tip of the pen. You can raise it up a little bit. Almost done here. There we go. And that, as soon as I put in one more gate, that is all of my line work. And that completes that part of the design. So again, big pool patio area, plantings around the edge, the lawn in the middle, plantings wrapping kind of this little seating area there, and then plantings in the front around the sidewalk and a big lawn.